welcome back to the garden. Welcome back to the garden. Welcome back to the garden. Yo, what's going on, guys? Happy Friday. I hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are warm. Kicking it fly today, baby. So you've been growing herb, eh? For about 4 months. Things have been going smooth. Feed wonderful. Timing on point. Space perfect. Now, what do you have to do to ensure that you're going to get some quality product? You've spent so much time, there's no point in wasting it now. So, some tips to maintain quality product after your harvest. Let's go. Plan ahead. You spent 4 months. Now, you got to dry and cure perfectly. Ensure you've got the adequate space for it. Clear out a tent. Get rid of the lights. Make sure that you've got room for all of your dried material. Nothing worse than getting everything down and realizing, oh shit, I got nowhere to hang it. They're trimmed. Now it's time to dry. I would highly suggest throwing in a hydrometer inside the pack. Whether it's a humidity strip, whether it's a gauge, it doesn't matter. They're going to be plus minus anyways, but give yourself a good indicator of what's going on inside that jar or that bag. Use a hydrometer. Be gentle. They've already dried. Now it's time to cure, and they are the most vulnerable after they've been dried. I like to use gloves. That way I'm not manipulating or breaking any of the trichomes. And remember, wash if you have to, not because you can. Stay clean. I can't count how many times I've seen people set up a workstation and it's disgusting. They haven't cleaned their tools. They've just got everything out on either on the basement floor or out on a table. Just clean your workspace first. You're still susceptible to contaminants, disease, and pests after the growing stage, so make sure that you're keeping things clean as possible so there won't be any kind of variable to add to your mistake. But before we go any farther, I want to give a huge shout out to AC Infinity. AC Infinity has got the name and the game when it comes to all products inside your tent. Whether it's tents, air circulation systems, humidifiers, smart controllers, AC Infinity, hey, they've got you covered. You go to acinfinity.com. Use promo code PIGEONS420. You'll save money at checkout. You'll save a little bit of time. You'll also be helping support the show. Yeah, I know what I'm saying here. Guys, thanks AC Infinity for sponsoring today's show. We appreciate them as always. acinfinity.com. Promo code PIGEONS420. Of course, we couldn't do this without Spider Farmer. If you go to spider-farmer.com, use promo code PIGEONS420, you can check out some of the best names in lights. Whether it's their SF series, whether it's the SE series, or their budget-friendly G series, you won't be disappointed. They're running the LM301B Samsung diodes, and you can get your hands on quality lights at spider-farmer.com. Use promo code PIGEONS420. You're going to save a few dollars off at checkout. You'll help support the show. But more importantly, you'll get some quality products from a quality team. Go to spider-farmer.com, promo code PIGEONS420. And let me tell you, you can find a ton of products, deals throughout this Black Friday sale. So go and check them out. Thanks, Spider Farmer, for being a sponsor of today's video. Also, if you have an opportunity, go check them out on Instagram at Spider Farmer Official and thank them for being a sponsor of today's video. Pay attention to your terpenes, guys. A low, slow, cool dry is going to be your best option. Nothing too fast, nothing too hasty. Take your time, pay attention to your terpenes. You're going to want to retain the aroma that's coming out of that bag. The more you open it, and if it's hot, you're going to evaporate those terpenes into the environment for somebody else to enjoy. And the best way to retain those terpenes? Temperature control. I said it already. Low, slow, dark, and cool. That's the way to go. That's going to make sure that we retain the most amount of flavonoids, terpene, you name it, coming out of our plants. Control the temperature. Label everything properly. I can't count myself how many times I've had multiple genetics growing in the garden, missed the names on them, and then I didn't know what was drying, what was curing, and I couldn't give them a curated attention or a curated plan because I couldn't remember which genetics were which. So careful when mixing genetics. Some need to be taken care of a little more differently than others, whether it's a slower dry, quicker dry, whether they want cooler or warmer temperatures. These are going to be things that are dependent upon the genetic. So pay attention to your genetics and pay attention to your terpene profile. Try to avoid mixing strains. This is something that I had to learn the hard way once I had already lost a couple or mixed a couple up. If you don't mix up your genetics, it's a lot easier to curate your dry and cure to the particular cultivar. Some may need to be dried a little quicker, some faster, some slower, some warmer and cooler, what have you. Pay attention to those genetics and don't mix them. Make sure we label our plants properly so we can curate our process accordingly. Make sure you're using light-proof containers. I was a huge advocate for using mason jars in the past. However, throughout time, I've learned that there are far more superior products out there, so use them. Don't use clear containers. Use something like a Grove bag, use something like a Sea Vault, something that's sealed from the environment, not only the air, but also the light. Here's something I encourage everyone to do. Experiment. Experiment over time. Are you using a large room? Are you using a tent? Are you using air circulation, no air circulation? Are you listening to people on the internet? Are you doing things on your own? I want you to experiment over time to perfect your process. I can give you tips and tricks on how to get yourself to the finish line in the best way or the most effective way possible. But until you experiment with your own environment, your own needs, and your own goals, that's when you'll really know what you need to hone in on your environment and your process. So experiment. Find what works for you. And for the love of God, don't rush. Take your time. This is a long process. No matter which way you shape it, no matter which way you try to do it, you're in this for at least 4 months. 2 for veg, 2 for flower. Now, of course, it could be a little bit more, it could be a little bit less. However, take your time. Only good things are going to happen if you take your time. Slow down, think about it, consider the process, and give it a whirl. And have fun. That's the most important thing. It kind of goes without saying. Monitor your environment. Don't let the humidity get too high. Don't let the temperature get too high or too low. This is very important stuff. You spent so much time putting in the effort and the time to get to this point. Don't rush. Take your time. You're only going to thank yourself the farther you get into this process if you took your time. I guarantee it. Last, but certainly not least, and this is something that I personally struggled with. Stay organized. Keep detailed notes about your genetics. How did they eat? How did they train? Did they require more attention than others? These are very important things to determine whether or not you're going to be growing these genetics again, whether or not you're going to hone in your process to make it easier for yourself, whether you're going to label things, which I think you should be labeling everything. And the reason for that is because it's very easy to mix things up, get confused in regards to new genetics, forget about what you've already grown. Keep yourself organized. Keep tabs. Write things down. Did you like this genetic? Do you not like this genetic? What did it do during the grow that you did or didn't like? These are things that you're going to want to consider the next time you go to purchase genetics. Is this something that works for you, or are you working for it? I want plants, I want gardens that work for me. I don't want to have to work for them. However, my friends, that's all the time I have. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. If you think you can add something to the list of tips to create quality product, I want to hear from you, because it's your information that keeps this community rolling, and I couldn't do it without you guys. Don't forget, you can also purchase Stash Blend. That's the premium plant additive that my boys Chris, Rob, and myself came up with, and we think you're gonna love it. If you go to stashblend.com, we're even having a Black Friday sale that went live. That's still live, so make sure you go check it out, stashblend.com. Thanks to everybody for watching. I appreciate you. I will see you next week, because right now I'm in Vegas. Yeah, I'm actually in Vegas right now, believe it or not, and I'm having a great time.